Okay, so the title of this video is a little crazy, but after using this phone for several weeks as a camera, it's kind of crazy how versatile and how the Vivo X300 Ultra is becoming more of a point and shoot camera versus a traditional smartphone. So let's talk about it. Now, this video shouldn't be too long because I will be talking more about my experience and thoughts about the camera system as a whole rather than, reviewing this phone as a phone. It does have all the bells and whistles that you can think of: fast charging, big battery, 1 terabyte of storage, 16 gigs of RAM, and the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. So basically, it's an incredibly fast phone that lives up to the Ultra name. So if you're looking for a phone that can game, a phone that can take incredible photos and videos, this might just be the one to get, in my opinion. But let's focus more on the cameras. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty details about the cameras, I actually got the photography kit along with this phone. So if you do want to check out that unboxing, I'll leave a link down below that like button to a YouTube Shorts so you can see that big box that it came in. All right, now let's talk about the cameras. So the Vivo X300 Ultra houses 3 rear cameras: a 35mm main camera at 200 megapixels, an 85mm camera also at 200 megapixels, and a 14mm ultra-wide camera at 50 megapixels, which does support autofocus. Now, on paper, it doesn't seem too ultra-like, but trust me, when you guys shoot with this phone and see some of the sample photos that you get out of this phone, you'll actually be surprised that it came from a smartphone. From the 14mm to the cropped 230mm focal length, it's pretty crazy to have such a usable zoom, even indoors, compared to something like an iPhone or an S26 Ultra. Now, sure, there's a lot more processing happening in the background, but I think it's necessary to get a better photo. Now, I think photo quality in general is very subjective. How I like a photo in terms of colors and how it's processed may not be something that you're into, especially this guy on Threads who said that, overexposed backgrounds and halation and chromatic aberration in my photos look terrible, but it's okay to be wrong. Now, as someone who shoots with a Fuji X100VI on a weekly basis, sometimes my Leica M11P from time to time, the photos that you get out of the Vivo X300 Ultra isn't your typical smartphone photo that you might be used to. The new camera system, or the filter system that they've got going on, is super complex and not something that I've really seen on a stock camera app before. Especially when you launch the street photography mode. It not only gives you a pretty unique UI that's more simplified, but the 3 custom filters in this mode gives me that Fujifilm recipe feeling where I can take an existing filter, customize the parameters, make the overall image look cooler or warmer, add green or red tint to the image, add contrast, and you can also lift the shadows if you want. Now, the kicker here is that you can also add 3 unique filters or parameters to make your photos look more cinematic or filmic, and that's with the addition of grain, halation, and miss. Now, you can add these 3 options with either low or high settings, and honestly, it doesn't look super tacky at all and really helps sell that film look that Vivo is trying to go for. So as you guys can see from some of the sample photos that I've been showing, a lot of the shots here are actually using street photography mode, which not only cranks up the shutter speed, but also shoots everything in portrait mode. So you kind of get that nice bokeh effect. Now, the 14mm won't be able to shoot in portrait mode, but it does have a pretty close minimum focusing distance. And since it has autofocus, you'll kind of get some bokeh out of it too. Now, with all of these customizable settings, it kind of reminds me of shooting with the Fujifilm X100VI because of all the film recipes or simulations that's out there. You can even save the filters that you made unique to your own X300 Ultra and share it with other people by scanning a QR code, which is kind of cool to see. And if you want me to check out the filter that you made with your X300 Ultra, definitely share that with me on Threads so I can check that out and we can share filters if you want. Now, the next thing that I'm genuinely impressed by is the macro capabilities. Now, the 85mm Zeiss Apple lens on this camera is seriously impressive. I'm not exactly sure how close that I can get to a subject, but just check out all these random macro photos that I was able to capture with this phone. Most of these are shot with the 170mm focal length, which basically will just crop in from that 200 megapixel 85mm lens. And those are just some of my favorite features about the photo side of things. But to talk briefly about the new 400mm lens, It's actually really good. I'd say it's a bit wobbly and you really have to keep a good distance for it to focus on a subject. But man, once you nail the focus down, you'll get some pretty incredible shots, almost macro-like shots. And here are some sample photos from that. Okay, so let's quickly talk about videos. Now, this might sound a little biased, but I think iPhones, especially the 17 Pro, have the best videos on any smartphone. Despite having way smaller sensors, the codec with ProRes and Apple Log 2 is just unbeatable. It's super easy to match with my Sony cameras, and while I haven't shot a whole lot of videos using the X300 Ultra for my tech videos, the new Pro video mode on this phone is just insane. So when you guys press on this Pro Video button, you kind of get this UI that looks super similar to Blackmagic's camera app for iOS and Android. From the LUT selector to the shutter speed and ISO controls, it's very, very close to that UI. And it kind of makes sense because that UI looks good and it works. Now, the other thing that Vivo added in this Pro mode is if you're shooting log, you can also enable the new APV codec, which is kind of like ProRes for iPhones, but this is the Android equivalent and can only be edited in DaVinci or CapCut, at least for now. Now, this new APV log mode will shoot at a massive 600 megabits per second bitrate. And what that means is that you'll have such large files that you're gonna need a ton of space on your computer just to process and edit these videos. Now, Vivo also has a quick film mode that you can enable from the normal video tab, which adds this filmic look to your video baked in. And yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but if you want more controls on colors, the Pro mode is where it's at. So if you're a video creator and wanna try something that isn't an iPhone that'll give you that nice natural bokeh at 35 millimeters and 85 millimeters, then this might just be the phone to grab because this video is just as good as an APS-C camera, but it's very pocketable. Now, I would highly suggest picking up the photography kit because one of the filters you'll get is a 67 millimeter filter thread. Basically, you can grab a variable ND filter, and this can honestly just be your go-to video camera for your next vlog, your next TikTok or YouTube video, and it fits right in your pocket, and it's so versatile. And yeah, that's the Vivo X300 Ultra in a nutshell. It's obviously a great flagship phone, perfect for high performance gaming, but I also think it's the closest thing that we'll get to a point and shoot mirrorless camera in terms of a smartphone. With that native 35 millimeter focal length, it's very close to my Fuji X100VI. While I still prefer, the higher quality and images and how photos are processed with the Fuji, especially when you crop in and post. Now, if I'm traveling and need a reliable point and shoot camera that can give me similar looks as my X100VI, but can also record incredible 4K videos, and it fits in my pocket, I'll 100% be carrying this with me over my Fuji. Because you know the cliche saying by now, the best camera you have is the one that's with you. And with this phone, you're definitely not going to be disappointed with the photos or videos that you capture on this phone. Trust me, I was very close to selling my Fuji yet again, but I think there's always going to be a time and place for this camera. But for now, I think I'm going to go take this with me on my trips and see how it goes. Anyways, that's been it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.